Did you ever wonder how to fit some of the biggest Spellbinders die shapes onto a smaller card front? Well, today on Stamp TV, I'm going to show you a fun little card sketch featuring our new One Free with 3 stamp set, 1 in a Million. And I'm going to show you how to use an oversized circle and scalloped circle to create a unique focal image. Let me show you the tools and products you need to do this sketch. First, you're going to need some cardstock and some pattern paper, and what I've chosen to use is the 120-pound heavy base weight white cardstock for my card base. Then I have some of our red hot cardstock for some of our layering, and then I'm using one of the pattern papers from the new Poppy Prints pattern paper pack, and this is the one with the red flowers and the moonlit fog, little leaves and swirls. Then you're going to need some markers, and I'm using the London Fog marker by Memento, and I'm using one of the Bic markers, the Rambunctious Red. And I'm using the one with the very fine tip so I can get some good detail coloring in. I'm also going to use a Memento Tuxedo Black, and that's really important to use a black ink pad that's going to work with an alcohol marker, and since the Bic markers are alcohol markers, this one will work really well. Then I have a little bit of our red hot organdy ribbon. This is this is a really nice organdy ribbon with these two little satin edges. And then I have some Spellbinders dies. I have one of the petite scalloped circles. This is the large, and I have one of the large classic circles. I have some cutter bee scissors, and then I have two of the stamps from the 1 in a Million stamp set. And this is this month's One Free with 3. When you purchase any 3 full-size stamp sets in one order, you'll get this stamp set for free. And this is fun. This is a big, bold image, and with these different colors and patterns, it's just going to be a really fun, bright card to cheer somebody up. And then I have one of the greetings here, and you'll see that in just a minute. The other thing I have is some adhesive. I've got the mono adhesive, and I also am going to be using the Cuttlebug for cutting out the die shapes. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to ink up the floral arrangement here in the 1 in a Million stamp set. And I'm going to stamp that right here onto my cardstock. There we go. Then I want to add this greeting, and I want to do this right off to the side here. So it's all going to be on one focal image. I'm not going to cut a separate greeting, but I'm putting the greeting right into the main focal image. And I'm going to stamp that right on the side here. There we go. Friends like you are 1 in a million. Okay. So my next step is to cut this out, and I'm going to do that, like I said, using the Cuttlebug. I'm going to start with an A and a B plate, and then I'm going to use the classic circle and line that up just like that. There we go. And then I'm going to put the C plate on top and cut that out. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to emboss this by adding the rubber mat on top, and then a B plate, and then I have a piece of chipboard. Now you may not need a piece of chipboard, maybe just a piece of cardstock will do, because every Cuttlebug is calibrated just a little bit different. But you do want it to really squish down onto that shape, so if you need to pat it with either a piece of chipboard or a couple pieces of cardstock, try cardstock first. If that's not enough, then move up to some chipboard. And here is my focal image with that little embossed rim around the perimeter. Now next, I'm going to cut out a red scalloped circle. So I have my A and my B plate, my piece of cardstock and my die, blade side down, and then the C plate. And I'm going to cut that out. And there is my scalloped circle. So I'm going to attach these two together using a little bit of tape. And there we have a nice focal image. Now I'm going to color these particular flowers in using the London Fog marker for the leaves. And I want those leaves to coordinate with the pattern paper, with the little leaves and swirls in the pattern paper. So the London Fog is a really nice choice for that, because London Fog is very, very similar to the Gina K Designs Pure Luxury cardstock Moonlit Fog. So I'm doing the leaves first to get those out of the way. And you can mix water-based markers like these Memento markers and then color other parts of the image using alcohol markers. You don't have to have all the same type of marker on your card. You can even mix pencils and markers, whatever look you want. It's fine to do. There are no rules. Which is great, because if there were, I'd break them. Okay, and now I'm going to color these flowers in using this Rambunctious Red marker. And you can see now this marker, because it's an alcohol marker, it's very smooth and there's no streaking at all. So that might be the only reason why you'd want to use all the same kind of coloring markers if you were looking for that real smooth look. Although I kind of like the look of the leaves being colored in a water-based marker. It gives them just a little bit of texture. And then the petals look real soft because they're real smooth. And of course, for those of you that are coloring experts, you can color these flowers using your Copic markers, or you can use the Copic blender pen and add some texture into the petals. You can blend colors together, adding a little bit of bright orange in the center just to give some shading. But because I'm just doing a real bright, fun, easy, cheerful card, I'm just going to have really bright, solid petal flowers. Now I am going to add something to the center of these flowers at the end, and what I've chosen to add, and you'll see, I'm going to use the liquid pearls. I like the liquid pearls because they give a lot of texture, and you can kind of change the size of the little dots depending on the size of the flower. And they come in some really nice colors, and a perfect one for this particular card is going to be the silver liquid pearls. So I'm going to do that. But other options for you, if you don't have liquid pearls, you can use little rhinestones, or you can use brads or eyelets. And I know a lot of you probably have drawers full of all kinds of pretty embellishments that you are dying to use. So anytime you have a flower like this that doesn't have a definite center, that's a great chance to pull out some of those embellishments that have been gathering in your drawers for years. Another fun thing to put in the center of these flowers is buttons. If you have tiny little buttons, those little baby buttons, they look really cute in the center too. And then if you don't have any embellishments and you don't have any liquid pearls, you can always just add a little spot of glitter in the center of each one, and that will really brighten it up too and make it glitter in the sunlight. Okay, almost done. Just a couple more leaves left, petals left rather. And I see I missed one leaf. Up at the top there, which I'm going to need to color in with the London Fog. But these markers are fun. I love the real fine tip on these, and you can get these pretty much anywhere. You can get them at Walmart, you can get them at any office supply store, Staples, and they're just the Bic Market markers. And let me finish up that last little leaf. Okay, so now I have my focal image, and I'm going to assemble my card. I'm going to add a little bit of tape to the back of my pattern paper and attach that to this red piece of cardstock. But you know what, before I do that, I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit of ribbon around the center of the card. And I'm going to do that just by finding the center and then just taping that down on the other side and snipping off the excess. There we go, like that. Then I'm going to add this piece on top. Now, of course, you can do it any way you want. If you want to add the ribbon on afterwards, that is just fine. That's totally up to you. But the reason why I added the ribbon on the inside here is because I'm going to cut this circle once it's attached to the card, and I don't want to cut the ribbon off. So by putting the ribbon in between there, that gives me a little bit of margin right on the side where it's not going to be a problem when I cut. So now I'm going to add this floral design, and I'm going to have a little bit of it overhanging off the edge of my card. So I won't tape too close to the edge there. And I'll make sure that the whole focal image is still on the card, but that little bit of excess is just hanging over there, like that. There we go. Now I'm going to use my paper cutter, so let me grab that and pull that up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the card upside down, and I'm going to press it right to the edge, and you can you see this little part is overhanging. Pressing that right up to the edge so I don't lose any of the size of my card, and then I'm just going to cut off that little excess of that scalloped circle. There we go. Just like that. Next, I'm going to add the focal image onto my white card base with just a little bit of tape. Let me line that up so I can see it. And then I'll lay it back down so you can see it. There we go. And now I'm going to add a little cheater's bow right here on the side just by slipping a little bit of that ribbon underneath and tying a knot. There we go. And we'll just snip that little end off there. And snip this little end off here. And I learned from experience today that these cutter bee scissors are very sharp, so be careful when you're working with them. It's very easy to cut yourself. Take a little bit of extra there. Okay. Now I'm going to add some of the liquid pearls. And like I said, these come in so many different colors, but I'm going to use the silver pearl. And I like to start the liquid pearls on my piece of scratch paper just to make sure that if there's anything hard or crusty in the center for the first time, that I get rid of that. And then when you use the liquid pearls, you want to squeeze straight down onto your design and pull straight up. It'll make a little point, but that point will then settle down and turn into a pretty little pearl. Now, if you find that your liquid pearls are not doing that, that you're having trouble getting it to turn into a pearl, it may be older liquid pearls, or it just may be a little bit thick, or the climate might be a little cold. So what you can do is you can throw it into a little pot of hot water for a couple seconds, and it'll soften it up a little bit, and then you'll be more apt to get nice pearls rather than little round circles with peaks on the end. And as my pearls are starting to settle, you can see that there'll be a nice shiny little pearl on the end, on the center of each one of those flowers. And that is my quick and easy little card sketch using the 1 in a million stamp set. Try using other large die shapes like the classic oval, lacy circles, and some of the larger labels dies to do this same technique. It will create an interesting way to show off your favorite larger stamps.